very deep, this one. Look at that. Is it deep? You can
bruise.
Yep, that big red bruise on the right hand side where somebody's using cotton buds and push this really deep and against the eardrum. It's going to be a really tough one for Katie to get out. This one, guys, is not going to be the easy one.
Here we go.
So we can see that. You can tell two things straight away that jump out about cotton buds on this: bruising on the right hand side and that very domed texture. Or domed shape, I should say, rather than texture to the wax.
Well, the bruise will give it away by itself, to be honest. There's not much other things that are going to make that. You know, your finger can't get that far inside the ear canal, so something has got in there, which, like you said, looking at the sort of wax there, it might be a bit of a mixture actually, a bit of wax and a bit of like dry skin as well.
Yeah, and that's not uncommon when you're pushing it further in with a cotton bud. It's going to end up down in that area. She's doing a cracking job there, though, isn't she, Katie? Taking that. That's a difficult peel with a cotton bud impression on it, isn't it?
Yeah, got the fine end as well by the looks of it. So we're starting to do that sort of peel. Now, this is a pretty tricky one to do, because it's not like what you want to see sometimes is as you get a little grip with the suction on those deeper parts, as you start to peel away, you can sometimes loosen up the little bits behind it. But this is it almost kind of looks like it's dry at the moment, but it looks like the patient's obviously used some drops to try and get this out, and then may have stopped them, and it's kind of gone to this really kind of horrible consistency.
It's not an easy one to remove. And what takes a lot of skill is actually, you're in the really sensitive part of the ear here, so you're right down on top of that bone, aren't you?
Yeah.
And what's going to happen is you've got to sort of hover that fine end just above the skin and still, well, that's a good one, still maintain a grip on that wax and take it out without touching any of the canal wall sides. Well, that's really difficult, isn't it? And with the cotton bud, because the end of the cotton bud is that rounded shape, it depresses the centre, but it squashes the outside edges into a very thin layer, doesn't it? And that's always hard, because you can't pull the centre, because those outer thin layers are going to hold on to the canal wall. So you've got to detach those first, which is exactly what Katie's doing here. But that takes a bit of skill now to be able to hover.
You can see how thin it is as it just starts to change colour, just there where the suction tube is going now.
Fair play, that's good going, that is.
This would have been out of like desperation as well, by the looks of it. Patient's gone right in, like really desperate, like can't hear anything. Oh, go on, get.
You can tell by just how bruised that canal wall is there. They've really gone to town on that, haven't they? Really gone to town on it.
Oh, they're starting to twist a little bit, isn't it?
Yeah. I think the back end of this is that super sticky wax, isn't it? It's just hanging on to that eardrum. Well, you can just see it just starting to kind of almost shimmy along a little bit.
Yeah, I think the trouble with this type, like obviously Katie's using a fine end here, which is the smaller of our suction tubes. I was just going to say a little bit of oil would probably do really well there.
Oh, this is a bigger tube.
Yeah, she's swapped up to the standard tube now. So that's pretty much how I would have tackled it, to be honest, is use the fine end to get those really fine, thin bits from the edges. And then as that starts loosening up and moving a little bit, popping a little bit of oil in, which will get underneath what you've just lifted. And that should then come away quite nicely. But the standard tube, again, it can go one or two ways, really. She put the fine end back on here now for this part, because what you'll tend to find, if it's really fine and it's it's like quite brittle and it's breaking little bits away, you don't want to leave little bits down in that sort of recess, which is that dip just in front of the eardrum, because it's a bit of a nightmare to get back out, and unless it's irrigated, you can irrigate it out, which won't be a problem. But if you're just using suction, it can be sometimes a bit of a nightmare, because the vision is horrible.
It's not easy. And with Katie, what she's done is she's gone in with a fine end and just removed the excess oil off the surface, and then she's going back in now, and you can see I think this is actually the first time she's ever done a sort of eardrum peel, if you like, or a removal off the drum itself. Yeah. So she's not picked an easy one to start with. This is what I think. This is what we would be like. Oh gosh, this is not easy. And you can tell she's sort of gauging it a little bit here now.
Yeah.
Because always, as a clinician, you've always got in the back of your mind, you don't want to cause any discomfort.
No.
And when you're right down against the eardrum like this, you've got to be so super careful, and
And you just hope that whole thing is just going to pop out and lift as one rather than just coming away in little tiny bits.
Yeah. It's gauging the amount of pressure as well to put on the wax at this point, isn't it? Because it put too much pressure, you're going to push through the wax. So you're going to hit the eardrum. Too little pressure, and you're not going to bed into it enough to really give it the best kind of way of pulling this out. And you really want to just see that bottom just out of that gap, didn't you?
It's not coming away nice so far. It's just doing that little tiny bits. That's a tricky one.
It's tough. I think.
Do you irrigate it?
Yeah, I think she's having a good look around now, just see where she goes now. But I think what you get sometimes with these as well is that because you're using the fine end, and when you've got this really soft consistency of wax, it just blocks that suction tube so quickly. So you just get a tiny bit suctioned off, and then that's it. It's all blocked up.
Yeah.
That's a difficult area to get into.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's a good one to do, but it's a tough area to get into, cleanly. Then.
It's
not what you want to see, Dick. I
thought that was coming then.
Oh, nearly. Oh, it's good. Yeah, nice and gentle there now for that one.
Yeah, because you got just above that wax there, you can see that's the malleus bone inside the ear. That's you don't really want to be touching that.
No,
because they will jump through the roof.
That's looking promising. Now this is where that oil that you talked about earlier pays dividends, because it's actually got underneath. So when you start to lift, you could see it sliding along that oil. Is she going to be able to pull this one? Guys, don't forget, if you do enjoy the videos, you can always like, heart, share, follow, and subscribe for us as well. That'd be fantastic. If you thoroughly enjoy the videos, become members of the channel as well. Gets even more then. That came away really nicely, that last piece there.
Oh, look at that. Ooh, we've got a bit of tympanosclerosis there. So that little white patch of cloud there, that's potentially from where the patient may have had a previous perforation or infection.
Yeah. Or even cotton bud damage.
Cotton bud damage,
that one I'm going to say, possibly. Well, guys, if you enjoyed that video, thank you very much for watching the video today. If you enjoyed that video, there is going to be another video that's going to be up there, which is looking at another eardrum peel. So if you really enjoyed this type of removal, check that video out, because it will be a good one for you to watch as well. But in the meantime, guys, myself and the lovely Mr. Teddy Green will see you next time. So as always, take care of yourselves.
Take care of your ears.
And take care of one another, and we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.